great and wise minds. Good morning to one and all. I deem it a great pleasure to welcome everyone for this webinar on Laws 12 organized by the Department of Mathematics, CMS College of Science and Commerce, Coimbatore. CMS College of Science and Commerce, established in 1988, is one of the premier institutions of higher learning in Coimbatore. The college offers 17 undergraduate courses and 14 postgraduate courses, besides 7 MPhil and 3 PhD research programs. Our vision is to create a center of excellence capable of empowering seekers of knowledge, and our mission is to create worthy citizens by providing holistic education and make them creative members of the global society. Our college is accredited with A+ level by NAC, and it is starred with potential for excellence conferred by UGC. We are in high position in NIRF ranking also. It is also recognized under the Star College Scheme, DBT, Government of India. We are proud to say the Department of Mathematics is also one among them. Mathematics is the language with which God wrote the universe. It is not about numbers, equations, computations, or algorithms. It is about understanding. Going down deep into anything, we'll find mathematics. The department was established in the year 2002 with UG program, and now it is elevated with PG and MPhil. Very soon, we will be starting PhD. It is an honor for me to welcome our head of the department, Dr. Mridula Ravindran, who is the backbone of the department, who has taken great pain in arranging the guests for today's program. I request Dr. Mridula Ravindran to welcome the gathering.
So a pleasant and purposeful morning to one and all gathered here. I wish you a pleasant morning because you are going to have a pleasant listening today, a feast to your ears, and which will make you remain pleasant throughout the day. And I wish you a purposeful morning because hereafter you are going to analyze your life. You are going to think about what is the purpose of your life. So I wish you once again a pleasant and purposeful morning. And today's topic, it is Lost Wealth, all of you know. So at the end of the program, at the end of the session, I expect everyone to at least find out what is our real wealth, what did we lose it, how did we lose it, when did we lose it, how are we going to regain it, how are we going to preserve it. So if you do that much, I think today's session is going to be successful. So without wasting much of our time, let me enter into my duty of welcoming the gathering. So first of all, let me welcome our office bearers. Hello. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, it is audible, ma'am.
I extend a warm welcome to our office bearers, our chairman, Mr. Rajagopal sir, our secretary, Mr. Venugopal sir, treasurer, Ravi sir. And so I extend a warm welcome to them because without any hesitation, they allow us to conduct any program which we organize, and they support us completely. So I have great pleasure in welcoming them to this program. Next, our beloved principal. So without any hesitation and without any delay, whatever programs we organize, he supports us, he guides us, and he is there with us in organizing any program. So I have great pleasure in welcoming our principal, Dr. H. Balakrishnan, to this program. Next is our resource person, His Grace Karthikeya Prabhu. To tell about him, any other madam will be introducing him. But to him also, I extend a heartful welcome to him because there were many flaws from my side in arranging this program. But without considering any of those, He has agreed to be here and he was on time also. So I have great pleasure in welcoming today's resource person, HG.KARTHIKEYA PRABU. A hearty welcome to you. Next, all the staff in the department who are always with me, helping in arranging all the programs and guiding me. So to make every program successful, the participants. So we have participants from various institutions, faculties, students, and from schools and colleges we have participants. Both staff and students are there, and other people are also there. So I have great pleasure in welcoming each and every one of you. So hearty welcome to all the participants. So once again, let me welcome all the participants and everyone joined in this. So hearty welcome to one and all. I extend a warm welcome to all on behalf of myself as well as on behalf of the management, principal, staff and students of this college. Welcome all, welcome, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I invite Dr. D. Shrija, Associate Professor, to give the introduction of the Chief Guest.
Good morning, everyone. It's my privilege to introduce the resource person of today's program. His Grace Karthikeya Prabhu, a postgraduate from the BITS Pilani, obtained his Bhakti Shastri degree from the Mayapur Institute of Higher Education, which involves an intensive study of the Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures. He has worked as a faculty member at the Mumbai University and later on in the corporate industry as a senior VLSI design engineer after his post-graduation. Prabhuji is known for his scientific and logical discourses on the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. He has been one of the speakers on the Hare Krishna television channel and also served as an key counselor on ISKCON Desire Tree.
Srija, you have gone on mute. Srija, please unmute.
We are very fortunate to have you amongst us, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I request a resource person, His Grace Karthikeya Prabhu, course instructor, ISKCON, Whitefields, Bangalore, to take over the session. We welcome you, sir.
So thank you very much for inviting me here firstly. And especially I would like to thank Dr. Mridula, who was following up multiple times, and she finally blocked my calendar also for the session. And obviously, I would like to thank everyone who's present today. I hope my voice is clear to everyone. Can we have some messages in the chat box too? Is my voice clear? Okay, great. So let's start with today's session. Today's session is titled as The Lost Wealth. This is my brainchild, and something which I resonate with a lot. Because the wealth that we have in India, or the wealth that we had in India, was really so great, so great. But somehow we have lost it, somehow. For next 1.5 hours, whatever we're going to discuss, we're going to go deep in understanding what we had and what we have lost. And also, we'll try to discuss how to regain that back. Especially, this topic is very much relevant to all the students and all the teachers as well, but mostly students. Because the students are the one who struggle a lot in the students' phase, the college days, or even while working also. Why is that struggle taking place? Why the struggle was not there before in the Vedic times? So that is a discussion all about, and why we have got affected this is another set of discussions. So let us enter today's topic, and also towards the end of today's session, I would request all of you all that please do give some reflections. Reflections means, what did you take from today's session? What are you going to implement in your day-to-day life? How was the session in general? You can post something in the chat box towards the end of the session. Okay, let me display my presentation. Yes, so let's start a very, very important discussion, the lost wealth, the glories of ancient India. I'm sure after this session, like many other people, where the sessions I've given in corporate, for corporate professionals, college students, one review or one feedback which I got was, it was an eye-opener. And this session gave a lot of confidence in one's own culture that is there in India. So let's start. So this is the lost wealth. Let's start with the first part of our session, that is the glories of our Vedic culture based on the Vedic scriptures. Now, let me tell you all that when it comes to the Vedic text, as of now, we don't discuss much in the modern times. But then, if we go on exploring more and more, we'll be thrilled, completely thrilled. Because these Vedic scriptures, which were available 5,000 years back, or which was given to us 5,000 years back, had everything that we can imagine and not imagine. Today, the modern science, it is discovering so many things. And all those things were already there in the Vedic text. And these Vedic texts were used by many great stalwarts. And they presented amazing science when it comes to various fields of human life, as well as when it comes to social, political, etc., etc. So I have just picked a few departments. Let's see how these Vedic texts gave a lot of insight into these departments long time back. I'm sure this will be a very important information for everyone. Let's start with surgery. Now, in fact, I was amazed when I was doing this research. So in Rig Veda, it is given about surgery. And a person called Shushruta, he is called as the father of surgery, who was present in 3rd century. And he wrote a famous book called Shushruta Samhita. And literally, practically, as well as in return, he spoke about medicine, plastic surgery, dentistry, gynecology, cataract surgery, so on and so forth. So now, when we talk about plastic surgery, cataract surgery, we might feel, oh, it's now that is existing, but then this was there in 3rd century itself. And then comes Ayurveda. I'm sure Ayurveda is something which everyone knows. In fact, there's a great demand for Ayurvedic medicines all over the world, because these are the medicines which don't have any side effects. And again, this comes from Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda talks about Ayurveda very deeply. And Ayu Veda, Veda means knowledge, and Ayu means one's lifespan. So knowledge of one's lifespan is given here, or how to increase the same, or how to keep it properly is given in this. In fact, so many medicines from India are exported to the outside world. And so many people are adopting to Ayurveda. So many. Nowadays, we have a lot of courses on Ayurveda also. And a lot of doctors are coming up through this field as well. Yes, mathematics. The Department of Mathematics is hosting this event. So you'll be pleased to know that the appendix of Atharva Veda talks about mathematics. Just an appendix. And a lot of things were given in early centuries itself. Like, for example, in the 6th century, Aryabhatta, he gave 0, the value of pi, the unknown x. I'm sure this unknown x has created a great trouble in everyone's life. This unknown x was given by Aryabhatta. 7th century, Brahmagupta, he gave this square roots, cube roots, finite difference interpolation. 6th century, Pascal's triangle. So this red color diagram which you see, or the red color picture that you see, with numbers 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. I'm sure you know what Pascal's triangle is about. So this Pascal's triangle was given in 6th century by Varaha Mihira. And all these personalities, they have referred to the Vedic text, to be more specific, Atharva Veda. And you all are celebrating, you all celebrate the festival of, or observe the appearance of Ramanujan. He makes this statement. Amazing statement this is. An equation for me has no meaning unless it expresses a thought of God. See, all these great personalities, one common thing which I observed when I was doing this bit of research was all of them, they were grounded on the Vedic culture, the culture of India, which was based on the Vedic text. And all of them were glorious, because they referred to the Vedic text and they lived by it. Yes. So these are some of the departments, some of the fields. Let me display a few more. Let's talk about physics now. Now, physics, I was really very astonished when I was going through various texts on physics. So most of it is revealed in Rig Veda. Now, like for example, a few things which I've written here in my notes. In 2nd century, the theory of atom was given. By whom? Maharshi Kand. He gave the theory of atom, and he also wrote a book called Darshana Grantha. Now, at that time itself, this atoms and other things were found. Now, when I'm sure, in the physics subjects and various other subjects, if you go ahead, quantum physics and all that, so we'll discuss about atom, and then many names will come across, Rutherford, Bohr, and Einstein, and etc., etc. So these names came later, but then when it comes to the glory of the Indian wealth, this was already there. This was already there in 2nd century itself by these great personalities. Then Satyendra Bose, he gave quantum physics. And then when it comes to gravitational theory, Brahmagupta, he spoke about gravitational theory. But then yes, after a long time, then we had a person, apple fell from the top, and then he realized, yes, gravitational theory. Structure of solar eclipse, very beautifully explained in Rig Veda. Very beautifully explained with diagrams and all that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? I'm just talking about few topics itself. These deep topics, which we struggle a lot, to study now, through various textbooks which are available, videos, etc. These were already available long time back in these Vedic texts. And I was also giving the references, which Vedas and which other text it is giving. Let's talk about another department, another field, which talks about the Vedic text. So Vaimanika Shastra. So I give some sessions to aeronautic engineering students. So when I was giving these sessions, this session especially, so after the session, one of my students, he showed me in his textbook, aeronautic subjects, so in his textbook, he showed me that there's something called as Vaimanika Shastra, some quote reference was given. And then he was showing me the structures and various other things, which is given in the Vedic text 5,000 years back. And the structures are not like the current day airplanes, where we have the congested space and all that. Structures were really huge. But then I was thinking, how will it work? Will it work? But then one very amazing thing which I found out was in foreign countries, they are already using this Vaimanika Shastra and they're testing the validity and the authenticity of these structures, which are given. Isn't that amazing? So this Vaimanika Shastra talks about different types of airplanes. You can see the structures and all these things. And these are huge in size. And very comfortable also. This is what we can understand with the size as well. So Vaimanika Shastra. So in this way, we see that how amazingly these different fields, these different departments are given in our Vedic text. I'm sure all of you know about the yogasanas. My God, the entire world is switching on to this. Entire world. In fact, in foreign countries, people are more eager, to do yogasanas. And so many Indian yoga teachers, they fly to abroad, and they literally, they earn so much, establishing their business, titled as yogasanas or Ashtanga yoga or something like that. This yogasanas or Ashtanga yoga is given in detail in Bhagavad Gita chapter 6 and so many other texts of Vedic scriptures. And now, slowly and steadily, the foreigners, they are appreciating the culture that we had before based on our Vedic text. So, yogasanas. In fact, there are so many diseases which are cured. Like, I think around 4 months or 5 months back, I had gone to one yoga studio. Some health issue was there, so I'd gone there. I was really amazed to see that they had a chart, and in that, various different diseases were mentioned and various ailments, physical ailments were mentioned. And then there are specific departments in this that yoga institute, and in that specific department, they will teach specific asanas. And just by doing those specific asanas, the person's critical diseases can be cured, and many people are benefited. So that institute was really crowded when I went also. So this is a very nice thing to note, that how I'm still talking about material wealth. I'm not yet come to spiritual wealth. How this material wealth that is given in a Vedic text is so glorious, and now the entire world is appreciating. Some other very important fields which I would like to highlight: astrology and Vastu Shastra. Now, this Vastu Shastra is part of Yajurveda. And there's a great science behind this Vastu also. Now, before, when I was doing my engineering, when I used to hear this different words, Vastu, astrology, palmistry, and all that, I used to feel, like, this is all bogus. What is there in that? But then when I started studying these different elements or different departments, fields, I could understand one thing, that there is so much of science involved in each and everything. So Vastu Shastra talks about the energy flow in the house. So if the door is in the proper direction, if the bedroom is in the proper place, kitchen is in the proper place, there's a proper flow of energy from one room to another. And people who stay there, there's a lot of energy, the positive vibes that they get in the house, and a lot of peace and calmness is there. In fact, in various different countries like Japan, China, etc., if I'm not wrong, Feng Shui, where they keep laughing Buddha, and they have various other the tortoise and this and that. Nowadays, I see in India, people do keep all these things, Feng Shui things. They'll hang some different things from the top. So one thing we have to understand here very clearly, that those are just derivations from Vastu Shastra. The original one is there in India. Somehow the derivations have gone here and there. This is regarding Vastu Shastra. Regarding astrology, the ones who have mastered this astrology, Jyotish Shastra, to be more precise in Sanskrit, Jyotish Shastra. Now again, I used to feel that how does it work? How is it possible? How can someone predict the future just by seeing date and time of birth of a person? How is it possible? But actually, it's again a great science. Then I was just scratching the surface. So what happens at the time of a person's birth? So the time, and then the day, the place, and the constellation of stars and planets. All that is taken. It's basically like a snapshot, like you click a pic. So when a person takes birth, so there's a pic that is clicked of all these different constellations and day, time, etc. So based on this snapshot, there's a lot of science is there, where the person's future things are decided, or future things are foretold. In fact, during this COVID time, there were so many great astrologers, who had already spoken about this particular thing that's going to happen. Maybe some people spoke 5 years back, some were 10, 15 years back. It was really nice. And once, this COVID started, all those predictions which they had given, all that was getting circulated on WhatsApp, Facebook, internet. So literally the ones who know the science of this Jyotish Shastra, they can do wonders. They know it very well. And so many people from the West, they're adopting to this particular thing. Let me speak about a few more fields. One of my favorite is the ancient Indian architecture. Now, I'm sure you people stay in Tamil Nadu, and there's so many temples around, so many wonderful, beautiful temples. This time, when you go after this session, please do observe. Please do observe the architecture first. Second, the sculpture that is there, and observe now what all things are displayed on the temple. And one amazing thing about these architectures are, these are not whimsical. Again, How to construct a temple is given in the Vedic text, and it's so amazing to see that these temples, these structures, which are constructed thousands and thousands of years back, are standing erect even till date. Hmm. So, if my father is a civil engineer, so when I talk to him, we discuss that how these structures are standing from a long time, and the current modern day buildings, how they're collapsing in just 20, 30 years. Hmm. I guess this was some couple of months back. I got some videos on my WhatsApp. In Bangalore, in the same day, in one day, there were 3 buildings which just collapsed on one side. So it just collapsed. And people are shouting like anything. Obviously, it was a residential complex. So can you imagine how great the science was at that time, where just by referring to the Vedic text, they would decide now how should be the structure, or what should be the structure of the temple, what should be the architecture. And it was not just a plain structure or something. It will have a lot of carvings. And those carvings, if you properly observe, I started doing this recently, when I went to Hampi and so many other places where we had these ancient temples. When I was observing these structures, literally there are messages written on that, depicted pictorially, very wonderfully. Life lessons are there in all of that. I have a video to show. You all can see this video. I'm sure if you see this carefully, you'll understand how the temples are not just made whimsically. Okay, make a room here, make a garbhagruha here, keep the deity here. No, there's a proper structure, a proper architecture. You can say a blueprint that is given in the Vedic text, how the temples should be built. And throughout India, from north to south, there are different varieties of structures. So let me play that video for all of you all. So if it's audible, please post in the chat box that it is audible.
Life, according to the Indian philosophy, are the quest for the artha, wealth and prosperity, kama for pleasure, dharma for moral life and virtues, and moksha for self-knowledge and realization. The mathematically structured spaces, intricate artworks, decorated and carved pillars, and the statues of the Hindu deities illustrate and value such philosophies. A hollow space without any embellishments situated at the center of the temple, usually below the deity, may also be at the side or above the deity, symbolizes the complex concept of the Purusha or the Purusa, meaning the universal principle of consciousness. The cosmic man or the self without any form, however, the omnipresent and associated with all the things. The Hindu temples suggest contemplations, encouragement, and further purification of mind. It also prompts the process of self-realization in the devotees. However, the preferred process is left to the convention of the individual devotees. The site of the temple. The Hindu temples are suggested to be near the natural water bodies such as the confluence of the rivers, river banks, seashores and lakes. According to the Puranas and the Bharat Samhita, mandirs can also be constructed inside the word of the natural water bodies. However, such suggestions include the building up of a pond with water garden in front of the mandir or towards the left. In the absence of the both natural and man-made water bodies, the water remains typically present during the consecration of the deity or the mandir. The part 3 of the chapter 93 of the Hindu text Vishnu Dharmottara Purana also recommends building of the temples within caves chiseled out of stones, atop hills, within hermitages, forest gardens and at the upper end of the street. Layout of the temple. The basic elements that comprise a Hindu temple are as follows. Garbhagriha, which literally means the warm house, is a cave-like sanctum which houses the main icon of the temple. In earlier times, it was a small cubicle with one entrance. In the later periods, it grew into a larger chamber. Mandapa is the entrance to the temple. It could be a portico or a colonnaded hall where the worshippers stand. Shikara or the Vimana. It is from the 5th century CE. It is a mountain-like structure on the top of the temple. In the North Indian Nagara style, it is called as the Shikara and is curved in the shape. Whereas in the South Indian Dravidian style, it is like a pyramidal tower which is called the Vimana. Amalaka. Stone-like disc seen at the top of the temple is known as Amalaka. It is mostly in the North Indian temples. Kalasha. It is the topmost part of the temple, mainly seen again in the North Indian style. Antrala. It is the vestibule between the Garbhagriha and the Mandapa. Jagati. This is the common in the North Indian temple styles of Nagara and is a raised platform where the devotees can sit and pray. Vahana. It is the vehicle of the main deity which along with the standard pillar or the dhwaja are placed axially. The different styles of the temple architecture.
So we see here that the main intention of showing this video was that how this entire structure, be it temple or be it any other structure that is there in India from the ancient time, it is not just built just like that. It is so amazing that it has got so much of science behind and so much of background, and very nicely, entire description is there which we can refer to. So it's very nice, to understand that how glorious is our Vedic text when it comes to mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, architecture or civil engineering, aeronautics engineering, yes, mechanical engineering, and so many others. So it's very wonderful, to know all these things. This is just the material side which I'm talking about. Still, we're going to go deeper, into the subject matter that we're discussing. Another very important thing which I came across, was this.
Of heist.
So this place. So this was a great revelation for me, when I went for a trip to Hampi. Now I hope everyone is able to see this structure. So you see there are long structures where stones are placed vertically and horizontally. Now this is so nice. When we went to Hampi, this place in Karnataka, place filled with archaeological, not archaeological, I should say that various ancient temples and ancient structures, ancient marketplaces, and so on and so forth. Now these structures, which were like there 2 or 4 kilometers together, was really astonishing for me. And then I would ask the guide there. I asked the guide that what is the structure made for? Why did they make this structure? And my limited understanding when I saw for the first time, I thought maybe people walk under that, during rainy season. But then this photo which I displayed, this particular thing, it seems it was a marketplace. So people would sell various things under these structures, and many people would come, to purchase. Now, what is so great about this place? This is what I had in my mind. What is so great about it? Then I asked him, what do they sell? What were they selling there before? I was so amazed to know that in the baskets, They would sell gold, silver, various jewels, and various other precious metals. And one nice point that the guide made was that in that place, the traders who would come would be from the Gulf countries and various other places. Then I asked him, what is the proof? So there's a temple called Vitthal Rukmini. There's no deity inside. It is just a structure that is there. So many tourists come to that place to see that. So below, at the bottom part, there's the nice carvings that is made. And in those carvings, there are various personalities depicted with horses, elephants. And the dress code or the dress that is there, the attire of those personalities, when we see, we can easily make out that they are the foreigners, especially from these specific places, these specific countries. Can you imagine how wealthy the place was? People sitting in the market with baskets, and in that they have the valuable jewels and metals. Now we have these gold shops and this and that with so much of doors and windows and alarms. I mean, the burglar alarm and so on and so forth. But then at that time, the opulence was so much that people would sit with baskets. And I was reading in one of the stories from the Vedic text again that a lady, she was taking care of the grains which she had put for drying in the sun. So a bird came. So she removed her gold ring and she threw at the bird to shoo the bird. That was the level of opulence that we had when it comes to our ancient India. In fact, always in my childhood, I would hear this song during Independence Day, Republic Day. Mere desh ki dharti sona ugle, ugle heere moti. In Hindi, this song is there. Mere desh ki dharti sona ugle, ugle heere moti. The place where I live, or this land of Bharat Bhumi, it actually gives out hira, moti, I mean the precious jewels and precious metals. But I would always wonder that no, I just see garbage. Where is it? Where are these coming from? But actually, when we go back to some centuries behind, we'll actually find this was a situation. See, till now I've just spoken about the material wealth that we had, or material wealth that is given in the Vedic text. But then there's something. There's so many things which we can discuss when it comes to our day-to-day life also. I'd like to display some more slides, which will give a lot of revelation. This is the question. If really this was there, where has it gone? In fact, there's so many other things. Like, for example, talking about the education system. See, currently, our education system is what? Somehow, schools, people finish their schools and then get into college. And then, get into this. Sometimes it's very humorous, but at the same time, it's very pity state that yes, okay, others are telling I'll get into this branch of engineering. Okay, I'll do MBBS, I'll do this, I'll do that. So everyone is just put in one bucket and just floated in the river. Now, there's a point that has to be meditated on here, that in the Vedic times, there was a concept called Gurukul. And in Gurukul, the guru or the teacher who would be there would first analyze what is the nature of the student. I'm talking about the school. When they get into Gurukul at the age of 5, they'll analyze the nature of the student. Now, when they analyze, okay, he's more of an intellectual person, so we should train him like that. Okay, he's more of an administrative type of person. Okay, we should train him like that. Oh, he's more of an entrepreneur type of person. Okay, let us train him like that. So in Gurukul, what would happen is the guru or the teacher who would be there would analyze the nature and he would give the teachings accordingly from the Vedic text. To such an extent, the ones who would pass out from the Gurukul, they would be so self-sufficient and they would be so independent. They would not depend on anyone. They would have their own livelihood. They would earn their own livelihood in their own way, and they would be self-sufficient. They would not be dependent on anyone. But now, as soon as the course is finished, professional course is finished, we have to take that paper which is called a CV, and we roam one company to another. That's the unfortunate situation now. Yes. And then when it comes to the lifestyle and the value of relationships, I'm sure still in South we do have some remnants of the lifestyle and relationships still remaining. Many of my North Indian students and friends, they do say this, that still in South India there is some remnants remaining here and there. Now when it comes to lifestyle, It's very nice to see, nice to go back and try to analyze that the lifestyle was pretty much in mode of goodness, holistic and pure. Everyone in the family waking up early in the morning, doing their spiritual practices, and then the wife would do her job, the husband would do his job, and then the kids would do their job. Again in the evening they would come back, sit together, have dinner together, and discuss various things, discuss spiritual subject matters. It is so nice that there was so much of bonding between the family members. Now we say that we are materially advanced, isn't it? We are so much advanced that from Bangalore a person is giving talk to people back in Tamil Nadu and Coimbatore. Yes, we are so advanced. But then it is so unfortunate that the value of relationships, the lifestyle, everything has gone for a toss. Now nowadays taking blessings, I don't know, if you guys do that, but then at least what I hear from the parents who come for counseling, nowadays taking blessings of superiors by touching their feet is something like out of fashion. No, I'll not do that. I'll not do that. Taking guidance from superiors, why should I? I have Google Guru. Let me type and see. Yes. So when it comes to lifestyle, it has gone crazy because of we have these MNCs having the night shift and second shift or whatever. And also, when everyone in the family is working, no one has time for anyone. Somehow in the morning, pack your dabba, pack your lunch and just leave. So much of rush. Again, come back in the evening, so tired, no time to speak with each other. And we have the big idiot box in everyone's house, the TV, big TVs. And the only thing that happens during the dinner, lunch, is sit in front of the TV and keep munching whatever is there in the plate. And there's no talk between anyone. I still remember going to my relative's house and I was trying to trigger a talk during this dinner time. And they're like, Ish, there is a very important scene that is going on. I want to see what's going to happen next. What to do? That's what is the current situation. And when it comes to the spiritual practices, nowadays who has time for spiritual practices? It's out of fashion. Come on, it's out of fashion. We'll not get into all that. This is what people say. But previously, spiritual practice was there in blood. In India, spiritual practice is something. In fact, if you see our country, this Bharat Bhumi is known for its spiritual heritage, cultural heritage. But somehow now that is not there. It's a different thing. But the thing is, before it was there, just like that, it would be like second nature of a person to do spiritual practices. Now, especially people have to go to some classes to learn what is meditation, to learn what is Vedic scriptures, learn some shlokas, learn this, learn that. But previously, parents would learn from their parents and they would teach their kids. The kids, when they would become parents, they'll pass it on to their kids. So it was just there in the family itself, all the spiritual practices. And there was a firm faith in whatever practice they would be doing. Because they would see so much of result in their practice. I'm sure if you go to your parents or you go to grandparents' parents, if they are still alive, you can go and ask them, or grandparents also, 2 generations back. If you ask them that, do you know what is called as depression? What is called as counseling? What is called as suicide? Maybe suicide they might know a bit. But depression, mood swings, sleeping pills, and all these things, counseling, I don't think they would ever talk about this. Now, and I was hearing from one of my friend who is working in US. So he was telling that it's very common. It's very common there that people would say that today I don't have time because I've got a meeting with a psychiatrist. That crazy. Now people have become that. Yes, they have to go to a psychiatrist every now and then. But then where were these personalities who are called as psychiatrists, counselors, and others? During the Vedic times. Why Vedic times? Just go back some 100 years or 200 years back. There was no need of counselors. There was no need of psychiatrists. There was no need of anything as such. Hardly people would go into depression and commit suicide. Why? Because they had that wealth in their own house. And what was the wealth? The superiors who were there. In the joint family, when the superiors were there, they would guide. They would give proper guidance. in each and everything. As soon as the younger ones, they would have some problem, they would go and talk to the superiors and they would get proper counseling. But then again, this wealth is gone. Yes. An addiction of students. I feel so petty. Sometimes when students come for counseling, some are addicted to alcohol, some are addicted to drugs, cigarettes, pornography, relationships, teenage pregnancies. What are these things? Where is it coming from? And where does it come from? These things were not there before. Yes. Students going into depression because less marks. Such stupid things were not existing before in the Vedic times. And it was so glorious. It was so glorious. Students were so bright. They would know what they have to do. They would know what they have to do. Now it's with time, I'm seeing myself and various others, how we have become dull with time. Yes. So it's a fact that somehow this wealth that we had previously is lost. Huh? And also when it comes to crimes, this murders and rapes and so many other things which are just going on just like that now in this world, especially in our country, these things were not there. So much was not there for sure. But then with time, one thing can be seen and traced and analyzed very nicely is somehow as the culture and the Vedic traditions have gone down, the Vedic values have gone down, all these nonsensical things have been popping up day by day. I was just thinking about the students, since today's students session, I was just meditating on this point, that what is the need of getting into addictions, cigarettes, alcohol, and various other nonsensical things and relationships and this and that at an age where it's not expected from them. What's the need of all that? And one thing which I could trace, and one thing which we all can analyze is there's so much of superficial life that we all are living. So much of superficial life. There's no depth. There's no self-satisfaction. So internally, when we are not satisfied, what will happen? We go and see external things. As soon as people say, man, just smoke one cigarette, you'll feel very nice. And a first-year student who comes will hear, okay, maybe, something new, let me explore. Yes. Oh, take one peg alcohol, very nice. Yes. Oh, you don't have a girlfriend, you don't have a boyfriend. Ari, come on, get into it. And all that nonsensical things that is shown on various videos on YouTube and various other things. Why all these things? Because internally no satisfaction, no stability, no strength. So some external shelter has to be taken. So yes, people get into all those things. Anyways, these are the problems. We'll discuss some solution towards the end. But then we have to analyze these things. How these things are becoming rampant day by day. I just hope I never get a case where a second standard student comes and says that I'm in depression, please help me. Till now engineering students are coming and other students are coming. Hope such students don't come. Yes. So where has the wealth gone? This is my question. Where has the wealth gone? This is a very, very important analysis that we're going to do today. Where has the wealth gone? Let's start our discussion. We're talking about history now. What happened? You might feel, what is this session all about? What is he speaking? You will understand. Because all this that we're going to discuss, or all this that we're discussing, we'll realize at the end of the session that how we all have been programmed with time by various people who came to India, starting with Mughals. So now these Mughals who were there, who came to India, not very intelligent people. They came, they ruled around for 600, 700 years. They came and then they were analyzing, how the entire country was working. And one thing which they found, and which was very clear, was each and every Indian was there, whoever was there at that time, everyone was independent, self-sufficient, very, very strong within, both physically, mentally, emotionally. And they were the ones who were not dependent on anyone. Now, these Mughals were not understanding where are they getting strength from? Where somewhere they have to, because there should be some source of strength where they have to get that from. How come these people are just so strong themselves? And one thing that they observed was both morning and evening, these people would assemble in a place which is called as a temple, and they would discuss the Vedic text. They would discuss, various wonderful things, from the Vedic scriptures. Morning and evening, this was happening. And even now, today also, if you go to some villages, yeah, I'm sure, in many of the other temples also, people would assemble. People are assembling in the evening sometimes, and they would discuss various things from the Vedic text, be it Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, whatever. So what these Mughals thought was, okay, so maybe these people are getting strength from these structures. They forcefully tried making Indians their slaves, but they were unsuccessful. What did they do? They went around and broke, various structures. Today, if we go to various ancient temples, we'll find some or the other structure will be broken. Some deities' hands will be broken. Some place, some nice carvings, that is broken. Nice pillars are broken and replaced, with the modern pillars. So modern pillars are just straight columns. That's it. So these people did that. Very, very unintelligent thing. But then they couldn't do much because we had so many kings at that time who were so strong and grounded in the Vedic culture that they just drove them out. So many were there at that time, isn't it? Like, what I remember, I did my studies, my schooling in Mumbai. So we would read a lot about Shivaji Maharaj. So much is given that how they would fight and how strong they were. And they just drove all these less intelligent ones out of the country. But then after this lot of people came the next lot, and they were Britishers. Now, many times, we hear, Britishers contributed in a very, very nice way to India. This they gave, that they gave. Yes, they might have given superficial things which are there, but our roots were uprooted by them. Okay, let me tell you how. So there are various contributions of Britishers, which I would like to quote now. So now these Britishers, when they came to India, again, they did the same analysis and they found the same thing again. What was that? People were independent, self-sufficient. They were not dependent on anyone. Now see, when a person is independent, to make them a slave or to make him a slave is very difficult. You cannot. He does not need anything from you. Why will that person come to you? Simple. So this is what the Britishers were finding. These people are simple in their lifestyle, and they're very, very scholarly when it comes to their understanding. The clarity about life is very nice. They are very, very strong when it comes to the inner strength, when it comes to emotional and psychological stability. And they actually were in a fix that can we invade India? But then they were very, very clever. They were very intelligent. They were not like Mughals. They didn't do anything by force initially. They did everything internally. Underground, everything happened. I would like to quote some of the very important points which will help us to understand that what happened with all of us. Alexander Tuff, this personality came and he established a college called Scottish College in Kolkata. And this college was called as the headquarters for campaign against Hinduism. Means they would find out various ways, to go against the Vedic text or to go against the Vedic culture. William Jones, he came. He mastered 16 languages of India, 16 languages. And then he would say that my mission is to undermine people's faith in authorities of the Vedic scriptures. Means they were doing overtime. They were doing overtime. H.H. Wilson, he came and he gave an idea to the British Parliament. And he said that let's give award of several £1,000 to those Indians who would get best refutation against the Vedic culture, Vedic text. And then came Max Muller. Max Muller, amazing this is. He studied and mastered Sanskritam. He mastered. And then one wonderful thing he did. He gave wrong interpretation to the Vedic scriptures, Vedic text. And he made a point that India is much ripe, for our culture. They're talking about the British culture than Rome or Greece. The only motive was do a propaganda in such a way to pull down the Vedic culture and somehow make these people dependent on us. This was the thing which they had in the mind. I would like to share a letter that is there by Lord Macaulay. What he writes, just see this, on 2nd Feb 1835 to British Parliament. He says, I have traveled across the length and breadth of India, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such caliber that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. I repeat, this is a very important point to note. I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. And therefore, I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture. For if the Indians think that all that is foreign and English is good and greater than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. Now see here, the important thing that they did was, the Vedic texts are written in Sanskrit. These people, they first hit the language Sanskrit. And I'm sure the ones who have some knowledge of Sanskrit language or Sanskrit language, they would know, and even various universities from West, they have proved this, that the most richest language on this planet is Sanskrit. And the Sanskrit, that is there, the Sanskrit language that is there, is an independent language. There's no need of any other language to learn Sanskrit. But then these personalities, when they entered, they knew very well, somehow we have to break these people's faith in the Vedic text, because this is the place where they're getting their strength from. They understood very clearly. As Lord Macaulay said, the cultural heritage, the spiritual heritage, that has to be broken. That is the backbone. Now, when all these things were going on, one thing that we can analyze here is, in today's day and age, if someone wants to learn Sanskritam, what we have to do? For us now, it's no more an independent language, because they replace Sanskrit with English. And they proved that how English is very important. To such an extent that today I'm giving a talk in English. Yes. So today, if you want to learn Sanskrit, so we need to have that tabular column, where we need to have, like I normally give the example, bhavataha, onto you. So we need to have that one-to-one to understand what it is. Now, Kim means what? Yes. And then, various other things like that. So now, very successfully, these people made the Sanskrit language a dependent language, especially on other languages like English and other vernacular languages, maybe in India. So this is the point, the turning point in our faith on the Vedic text. Very successfully, very intelligently, very tactfully, the programming was done by the Britishers. Let me read some of the statements of Macaulay. He made very, very horrible statements. He said that the education system of India, so I'm talking about that education system which based on the Vedic text. He said Indian languages contain neither literary or scientific information. Indians are poor and rude. They should be enriched by our help. So Lord Macaulay is telling this to the British Parliament. A single shelf of European libraries more than all the Indian literatures put together. And this was a tight slap, on the our Indian literatures, where he says that European one single shelf of European library is much more as compared to all the literatures put together of India. And then he made a very important statement. He said, and he proved, and he did this. He said, all the works of Sanskrit in the Vedas is just a fiction of imagination. You know what? Now, when we educated people meet, all of us, we all educated, and all the students, all the faculties. Some of you are very much qualified, more than me. Yes, your PhDs, double PhDs. Today, when we meet and talk about Rama and talk about Mahabharata, what is the word that we use now to refer to these epics? We call it as mythology, isn't it? Myth means something which has not happened. myth, false. So unknowingly, this word comes from the mouth of the educated people when they discuss about these various ancient epics. Yeah, that mythology. I like Indian mythology a lot. People say like that when they meet me. I like Indian mythology a lot. This Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all of that is so nice. Unknowingly, we use the word mythology. Why? Very nicely, we were programmed by the Britishers. They placed all the Vedic text in one category of mythology or mythology. And to such an extent that we were, now it is so ingrained in us, it's all mythology. But tell me, is it mythology? Even today on the Google map, if we see, there are traces of the Ram Setu that Lord Ramchandra had built, from India to Sri Lanka. Even some traces are there, some floating stones are still there. Why Kurukshetra is not there? We don't have a place called Kurukshetra where the battle of Mahabharata happened. Oh, we don't have Vrindavan and Mathura, where various pastimes of Lord Krishna happened. Or we don't have, various places in South India where, so many other great personalities appeared and did, various activities. Now, how can we say it as mythology? Unfortunately, we have been programmed so nicely, by these Britishers. Without our notice, we use such terminologies, mythology. And the most amazing part is, Indians want to learn what the Western people are doing, or what they were doing before. And now the Western people, they have shifted to what Indians were doing before. Now, the Sanskrit text, the Vedic text, now are studied deeply, and PhDs are done in various foreign universities, especially in US and UK. And Germany also. I was going through some of the articles in Germany also. So now we don't have many Sanskrit scholars in India, but we have many Sanskrit scholars in these universities now outside. Why? Because Sanskrit is a bekar language. What is there in this language? Nothing is there. We should study English. We should study this. We should study that. In fact, it's very amazing to see that even now, when we refer, to any books in our college days or whatever, obviously, I'm not pointing to anything. I'm just putting the facts in front. Today, we refer to more foreign authors than our Indian authors. Isn't it? Yes. I remember, when I was doing my post-graduation, MTech in microelectronics. So yes, I was referring to all foreign author books. Even during engineering times, when I was doing my electronics and telecommunication bachelor's degree. So yes, I was referring to all that. That was recommended by the university as well. And that's what is happening throughout India. Okay, that's what is happening. But why it happened, that is the thing that I'm talking about. We cannot change maybe things now, but at least we can understand why it happened or why we are doing this now. Influence of Britishers. Britishers, very nicely. They changed the entire education system, removed Sanskrit, removed Vedic texts, and put their things in front. Unfortunate, a very, very unfortunate situation that has come. So today, now in ISKCON, we celebrate this entire month as Gita Jayanti. So Gita Jayanti is the month in which Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So we all go out on the roads to distribute books, Bhagavad Gita books. So when I meet youngsters, when I meet college goers, one thing which I found is, hey, this is all out of fashion. What are you people selling? What is this Bhagavad Gita? What is there in this book? These are the different stupid questions that people ask. Oh, God exists? Can you imagine someone taking birth in India, a land of culture, a land which is full of spiritual heritage? A person asking this question, does God exist? Today, so many things have changed. So many things have changed. Now, when it comes to our lifestyle, when it comes to our day-to-day dealings. I'll display one quote, which Lord Macaulay gave, which is a tight slap on all of us. Look at this quote. He said, "We must educate Indians in English so that we create a class of people who are Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, opinions, morals, and intellect. For this class, we will upgrade the dialects to the Western nomenclature." I think all of us should give a big round of applause to all of them. They've done an amazing job. We must educate Indians in English so that we create a class of people who are Indian in blood only, blood and color only, but English in all the other things. I always clap for all of them. I request all of you, please clap. They have done a great job, amazing job. Yes. This statement of Lord Macaulay, when I read for the first time, it was a tight slap on my face. Yes, you see our attire also, what we wear. Jeans. Okay, let me talk about jeans. All of us, at least in my college days, I was very fond of jeans. Pencil jeans, bell bottom, and all that. You know where this concept of jeans comes from? Britishers would give a pant to wear to their laborers, and that would be very thick. The jeans that we're talking about. And these laborers would do a lot of hard work, like various laborious works. And at that time, if they have any other cloth, that will tear. So they would wear this very thick cloth, and this will not tear. Now, can you imagine the laborers, the cloth that they were wearing? Today, we Indians feel it a great pride to wear jeans, and then that jeans we tear it at some place and call it as fashion also. Yes. See our attire, how badly it has changed. When it comes to dhoti, when it comes to sari, when it comes to various other attire, the Indian attires, which are scientifically very nice, when it comes to taking care of health and all that is rejected. Now, what is very nice? We have a t-shirt and we have the jeans and whatever, and the skirts and half pants and whatever people are wearing the West, that has come here. When it comes to festivals, I really wonder, where is Valentine's Day coming from? What is the sense in celebrating that in India? And when it comes to New Year, very soon people will celebrate after 2 days. My Happy New Year. Whose New Year it is? Yes. And what about our festivals? What about Deepavali? What about Holi? What about Pongal? And what about various other festivals which are there? Do they have the same importance that was given previously? Or it has just become a ritual where people come together and do something and leave? All these festivals and all this Indian culture would will create a tight bonding amongst the family members, amongst people in the society, create a tight bond in the entire country with each other. And at that time, religion and all that thing would never matter at all. I was reading a few articles where I was seeing that how different religions would shake hands and they would celebrate festivals so nicely. Because at that time, the importance was given to the backbone, that is the culture and the spiritual heritage. But then one very nice thing is there. One very nice thing is there, which all of us can put our minds to. I'll display this. They have done a very nice thing. That is, they have killed our faith in Vedic scriptures. Now it is done successfully. Killed is a word, maybe I can say it as, or maybe put it as murder also. Completely. A little bit of trace here and there. I'm sure all the faculty members who are there who have some faith in Vedic text or following Vedic culture, when we talk the same thing to the students or talk to your kids or whatever, what is the reaction? You know what? What the Mughals couldn't do in 600 years of their rule in India, what the Britishers couldn't do in 300 years or 200 years, whatever time they were in India, our media industry has done in the last 50 years successfully. Whatever little remnants of our Vedic culture was remaining, everything is removed. It is so horrible. There are so many movies which are coming up and which were there. I think in my first year of engineering only, I left watching movies when I understood how the programming is happening and brainwashing is happening. See, there were few movies which came pointing towards the Indian culture and spiritual heritage. So there were some statements which were made, which were really very hurting. So I stopped watching movies, but then I was getting so many mails asking questions that please watch this Oh My God movie, PK, and all these are Bollywood movies. I don't know if South also had some movies, like that, but these movies were there. And there the question was posted. What was the question? The question or the comment that was there, then I was forced to watch that movie. Because people were asking so many questions, so I had to force myself to watch. I watched that movie, and there some questions are asked or some comments are made. They are saying that why waste milk on Shivalinga? Why put oil in the lamp and burn it just for waste? There's so many poor people sitting outside the temple. Feed them. That is so nice. And then this many people agree to this point. This is such a nice point. Oh, such broad perspective in life. It's so amazing. Other points were made. Why such big temples? What is the need of such big temples? Now, why waste so much of money in constructing such big temples? There's so many poor people. Now we have to feed them. So many of them are starving. These Indians are so useless, just putting money here. Why? What is the need of it? I have a question for all of you all. Everyone is watching me today here. One question. A 10 rupees milk that is poured on Shivalinga, or some 30-40 rupees oil that is poured in the lamps. Tell me, they're talking about this. Where are these poor beggars when these people spend a lot of money in restaurants? So much of money is spent in restaurants. When these when these movies are produced, crores and crores of rupees, are these poor dead at that time? They're not alive. Are you stop producing your movies, distribute that money to the poor, they'll come up. And these actresses, the dress, I was just going through what is the expense now in producing a movie and what is the cost of dresses that these people wear. Some crores of rupees of dress and ornaments that these celebrities wear, when it comes to these movies and other shoots which are there. Oh, why do you want that? Distribute the same. You're so interested, right? You're so interested in poor people. Give the same money out there. India will become a country free from poor people. Give the money there. And us also, all of us, the ones who agree with this point, that what is the need of these structures, what is the need of these rituals? Okay, stop going to restaurants, stop going to movie theaters, stop going to bars and pubs. Spend so much of money in drinking wine and alcohol and getting liver cirrhosis. Stop that. Give the same money to poor people. No. When it comes to all these different things that people do on this planet, at that time, poor people don't exist. Only when some few rupees are spent in the temple to do some rituals, the spiritual practices, then all the poor people will take birth. Don't you think that how nicely we are programmed in our day-to-day life just by watching these movies? And it's so unfortunate, the current generation, the students, they watch all this and they say, "Hare, amazing, this is the right point. Yes, now my mother is doing this. She's a waste lady. Why is she wasting so much of money out there? So many poor people are there. Let's go and give to poor people." These are some of the questions which we should ask to ourselves. That now, where are these poor people when we waste money here and there? It pains a lot when I speak about this topic. Yes. Talking about the temples, people ask this question: why such temples are needed? Baba, this is our Indian cultural heritage that is there, spiritual heritage that is there. And mandir, temples are called as mandir. Mana means mind, and dir means to make it steady. When people go to temple, they get that peace of mind. At least I hear so many people, saying this. When I go to a temple, I feel so much of peace. I feel so much of calmness. It's so funny that sometimes atheistic people, they do say that, "Oh, I go to temple regularly to get some peace of mind, but I'm an atheist." Come on, I'm an atheist. Yes. And there's so many other points, which we see that very tactfully, very, very, systematically. I don't know what they get by doing this, but then somehow or the other, the faith in the Vedic culture is pulled down, by the media industry currently. Anyways, we don't fear. Now we speak whatever is the truth, because the truth has to be spoken, or else this brainwashing will keep happening, and we'll keep forgetting our culture, and we'll keep going down and down when it comes to our inner strength, when it comes to our psychological and emotional strength and all that. Yes. And also, when it comes to the media industry, I would also like to highlight some points. Now, when it comes to the relationships, which we currently little bit whatever relationships are there, I see when I talk to people, when I counsel, I see that how people are influenced by watching all this, especially mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, father and daughter, son, whatever. And I was so affected once when I came across one case that I think this was a case from Australia, Indian settled in Australia. So very, a lot of pain. This lady approached me and she was talking about her relative who is staying in Australia. And she said that, my sister's son, who is just going to school, and he has a younger daughter, a younger sister. So it seems, just by watching all that nonsense on the screen, so this boy, even when he's not matured, did something wrong with her sister. Can you imagine where are we heading towards? Unnecessarily, teenagers are becoming mature prematurely. Body is not matured, but mentally, knowing everything, getting mentally matured in various ways. What are we trying to do? What are we trying to prove? What are we trying to prove? So this is how, unfortunately, our Vedic culture is put down, and systematically it is proved that all this is useless. There's no use of all this. Just adopt to the Western culture. It is so nice, so nice, and just forget about whatever you had before. This is the message. This is a message not explicitly, but then the ones who have some brain substance, we can analyze and really easily understand that what is the message in the background. So in this way, we see that how Mughals, Britishers, the current media industry, all of them, very nicely, they have slaughtered our faith on our own tradition, on our own culture, very nicely. And we are just speaking logic and nothing else. Yes. But now the question is, anyways, I can go on speaking for another 2 hours also. There's so many other things which you can speak, but then you can explore yourself now. I can just trigger your thought process. But now the question is, how to revive back? We have lost, that is gone. Now we have been brainwashed, that is done. Somehow, we have become the product of Britishers, that is also there. But then how to revive? How to revive? How to revive that Vedic culture? How to come back and again be that richest nation or richest person or richest beings on this planet, both when it comes to the culture, the values, and also externally also the material sense as well. How? So this is our discussion, which we'll have for another half an hour, and we'll try to discuss this, a very, very important topic, and we'll end our presentation with this. Now see, whenever we want to acquire knowledge, we have three ways: Pratyaksha Praman, Anuman Praman, and Shabda Praman. So these are Sanskrit terms. I'll explain this in English. Pratyaksha Praman basically means seeing is believing. Now this is a very nice thing, which is programmed in everyone. Seeing is believing. Whatever I see, only that I will believe. Yes, that's absolutely correct. That's fine. But now the question is, am I qualified enough to make the statement that whatever I see, only that I will believe? Whatever I perceive, that I will believe? Am I qualified enough? Because all of us as human beings, we have 4 defects, which our Vedic texts give, and it's a proof. We can prove it through science. Look at this. The first defect that all of us have is we have imperfect senses. Only 2 examples I'll give since we are short of time. Now, when it comes to hearing, I'm sure all of you are science students. So when it comes to hearing, all of us can hear only in the audible range. That is 20 hertz, 20 kilohertz, isn't it? So does that mean there is no sound that exists beyond this range? Can't we? No, there is sound. No, there is sound in ultrasound range as well, but we can't hear that. But the bats can hear. When it comes to seeing, we can see only in visible range. We cannot see in infrared. It's difficult for us. We can see only in visible range. In fact, forget about the visible range. When we enter a dark room, say we enter a dark room, and you're not able to see anything, and we give a conclusion saying there's nothing in this room. But once the light is switched on, and we are able to see in that visible range, then we see, oh, the house is filled with so many things. Isn't that an imperfect sense that we have? The snakes can see in the dark, dogs can see in the dark. They can see, if I'm not wrong, they can see in infrared. They can see that. But we cannot. So in this way, our senses are imperfect. Same with tongue and nose. And I'm sure about the nose, all of us know. When we go to hospitals, we get that smell, peculiar clinical smell. But you just spend some 5 to 10 minutes, you'll not feel anything. You'll get used to. Yes. So we cannot determine the absolute nature of various things in this world through the senses. This is the first defect that we have: imperfect senses. Second defect is this. Second defect is illusion. We're easily illusioned. Now see this slide that I'm displaying, it's not a GIF image. It's a normal JPEG image. But then the way it is painted, you can see if you just keep seeing it for some time, you'll see how it is moving. I have another pic also like that. Look at this painting. Again, this is not a GIF. This is a proper simple JPEG image. Yes, it's moving. We are easily illusioned. This is what is the second effect. Mirage in the desert. Now that is another example of this. Committing mistakes. This is the third effect now that we have. I was amazed to read that brain previously by the medical field was considered as a cooling organ in the body. Pituitary gland was considered as a waste organ in the body. Can you imagine such great, hilarious mistakes were done previously? And when it comes to us also, we also do so many mistakes in our day-to-day life. We are prone to do mistakes. This is the third defect. Fourth defect is the cheating tendency. Cheating propensity. So this cheating propensity is like all of us, in a minor way, in a major way, we are ready to cheat ourselves and cheat others also. One of the important cheating that happened, in the field of science was Darwin's theory. Now, I hope everyone knows that Darwin's theory has been proved wrong, but still it is still followed in the education system. So, it's very hilarious. Darwin said that we have come from monkeys, we have evolved and all that. One simple question is that if we have evolved from monkeys, why do monkeys exist till now? Still monkeys are there. Did anyone see any monkey evolving into a human being? And some hilarious arguments Darwin gives. He says giraffe had a small neck, but the leaves were at the top. Then it was looking up, and the neck became big. I always had this question. There was no grass in that place at all. There were no leaves falling from the tree at all. This person, what I was just reading, why did he give this theory? Why did he give this theory? He gave this theory because his son, he died in a very, very young age. And he was praying to God at that time, saying, please save him, whatever. And he died. And at that time, just because his son died, he became atheist. And he wanted to somehow prove that how God does not exist and evolution, etc., happens just like that. So he proved this. So look at these four things, four defects that we have. First, imperfect senses. Second is tendency, or we are easily illusioned. Third is tendency to commit mistakes. And fourth, the propensity to cheat. Now tell me, after having such imperfect senses in the body, how can we make the statement that seeing is believing? A scientist, he made a very nice quote. I forgot his name. He said, out of the entire creation that exists, we can perceive only 1% of it because of the imperfections that we have. But obviously, this is the Western wave that has come to India also. Seeing is believing. Whatever I see, I'll believe. So one student was telling the teacher, ma'am, I don't see your brain. You're a brainless one. Yes. So whatever we see, only that we will believe. That's how it is. This is first Pratyaksha Praman. So we cannot get absolute knowledge when it comes to Pratyaksha Praman. Seeing is believing. Second is Anuman Praman. What is Anuman Praman all about? It is called as work. Now look at this photo that is displayed. These are 6 blind men, and they're touching different parts of the body of elephant. They have never seen an elephant, and they are giving Anuman. I feel, I guess. Look at this. So different body parts they're touching, and they're saying, okay, this leg they're touching, and they're saying, oh, it's a trunk of a tree. Oh, stomach they're touching, and they're saying, oh, it's a wall. They're touching the tusk, and they're saying, oh, it's like a arrow, and so on and so forth. You can make out. So when it comes to us also, many times we have this tendency of saying, I guess, I feel, according to my opinion. But then, okay, I might feel something, I might have opinion of something, but then tell me how perfect it is. Many times these theories which come, yes, the research papers which are there, or the theories which scientists give. If we ask these questions to the scientists, that can you tell for sure that this theory will not be proved wrong in future, or a better theory would not come than this? They would say, no, it might come. So there's no absolute thing as such when it comes to our anuman, when it comes to our opinion or our guesswork. Because our guesswork and opinion will be based on the past and the present experience. And the experiences we get is through this body, which has got imperfections. So Anuman Praman is also gone. So my question when I was reading was, then where we will get the knowledge from? How will we understand what sort of life we're supposed to live? How will we understand what is the goal of life? Yes, because see, one question which I always had in my childhood was this: okay, now I'm studying, I'll do a job, we'll get married, have kids, and die. Then I would see that, okay, what is life? This is life. Or do we have something more? What is the goal of life? This even animals are also doing the same thing. Okay, they might not study and go forward, but other things they're doing: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So how am I different as compared to animals? This was the question which I would always have. And then when I went to the Vedic texts, especially Bhagavad Gita and others, then understood, okay, yes, there is some goal of life. So human beings are more intelligent than animals. So all this, different things comes from Shabda Praman. Now the Shabda Praman is this. Shabda Praman means that which is based on the Vedic text. And it's a very nice thing to note that there are proofs for the validity of the Vedic text. The first one is axiomatic truth, second predictions, and third is manual. Now look at this axiomatic truth. Now what does it mean? I'm sure all the math students are here and all the science students are here, so you'll know what is axiomatic truth. So axiomatic truth is a truth which does not need a proof. Like for example, a point. So point is defined as what? A circle with zero radius. That is defined as point. Now how can we conceive a circle with zero radius but a point exists? Imaginary number I, which is not plotted on the number line, and it has a value also. This imaginary number, the number itself is called as imaginary I. Now this imaginary stuff that is there is used in various places. One of my friend from mechanical department, he was telling that they use this I, which is a very, very crucial thing for them when they are doing various blueprint of various mechanical structures. Amazing. Yes, but then this exists, so we accept it because it does not need a proof. Similarly, this point is made that it comes to, okay, I have some other things also. Now when it comes to our science, what is science? This is the question. Many times people say I'm very scientific. I am also with science background, so I was wondering, what is science? What is science? Science is study of existing things, isn't it? Whatever is existing, that's what we are studying. There is nothing new that we create in science, isn't it? Now, one student, when I was giving this session, I made this point somewhere. The student asked, no, but we have bulb. So that's a creation. So is that a creation, independent creation? I could make out at that time when this question was asked that bulb is just an degraded version of the sun. That's it. Robots, degraded version of human beings. There's nothing new that has come. Studying of the existing things and putting things together, that is what is science. Yes. There's nothing new that is created. So when it comes to scientific theories, every time it keeps changing. Especially atomic theory and all that would literally it would be so difficult to go through. Dalton, he said atom is the smallest particle. Then comes Rutherford, he says no, electrons, protons are there. And then there were other personalities who came, like Schrodinger. He gave the dual theory, the wave theory. Then Einstein came, he gave other one. So the scientific theories keeps changing. There is nothing called as absolute in science because the study is going on. So it's not their mistake. Study is going on. More better equipments come, more better scientific research will happen. But one important thing that I found was this: Vedic scriptures never change. They were valid and they will be valid in future as well. And there's a statement which I came across. It says, if any part of the Vedic scriptures is proved wrong, the entire Vedic scripture can be rejected. Can you imagine the strong statement that is given? And now, whatever is given in our Vedic text, our modern science is also confirming. Look at this. Earth. I'm sure all of us have studied in our history and other places. I don't know all places you have come across. Previously, the earth was flat. That's what people said. Then one foreigner, he started from one end and then he went behind and then he finally came back. And then it was proved Earth is round. But when it comes to the Vedic text, it is said very clearly, Earth is called as Bhu-Gol. Bhu means the earth and Gol means round. So the earth is round. This is already there. Next one is this. I'll just put some very, very few examples. You all can explore yourself. Plants have life. Now, this was proved by the modern science, not very far from now. Lately only this was. Keep the plant here, the plant turns towards the sun. Oh, okay, plants have life. But in the Vedic text, there is worship of plants that is mentioned. Taking care of plants is mentioned. Treating them as part of family is mentioned. So yes, that was already there. Embryology. It is very nice, which is very nicely given. So embryology, how when the male and female unite, when the sperm and ovum, when they combine, what happens on day 1? After that, day 5, day 7, in 7th month, what happens? 9th month, what is happening? So all this is very clearly given. And I came across this text called Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 31 chapter. It fully talks about how the embryo develops. I was astonished completely to read that. So currently, when sonography came at that time, now it is very nicely tested. Okay, baby is healthy and this and that. But this text, which I came across, it talks about the consciousness also, and what does the child feels in the womb. But then, we will not refer to Vedic text. We'll wait, for the modern science to prove, then we'll accept. And that's what is our situation. Now, NASA, it gave, maybe I think a couple of years back, there was a nice article from NASA which said the sound vibrations coming from sun, they match with the sound vibration of Omkara, Om, the syllable Om. Now, Vedic text, it talks about that. It talks about the Surya Dev who chants Om. Now, it's very nice to see that how slowly and steady the modern science is proving, one by one, various things. When it comes to cow dung, I'm just taking a very, very simple example now, cow dung. Now, cow dung, if you go to villages, even today, full house is put with cow dung everywhere. It's smeared everywhere on the ground and other places. Now, recently, the value of cow dung is known, the antiseptic property. Those are used now in the soaps and various other places. But in our olden age, in the Vedic times, people knew insects will not come inside the house if cow dung is there, and then various other germs and things will not come. This temperature will be maintained very nicely. So point that I'm trying to make is that somehow or the other, as we are products of Britishers, what has happened is we wait for the modern science to prove, then we accept what is given in the Vedic text. So these are all axiomatic truth, which I spoke about. All these things are there. With time, anyways, it will be proved true by the modern science also. The second one, which I would like to talk about, the second proof is this. Astonishing predictions, which were given. So there's a person called Lord Chaitanya who appeared only just 500 years back, and his prediction was given 5,000 years back in Srimad Bhagavatam. I have given references also. Whoever wants, they can go and refer back to these scriptures. Gautam Buddha's prediction was given. Again, Gautam Buddha appeared just some 1,000 years back, and his prediction was given 5,000 years back. Chanakya Pandit, again, a great personality in the past. Even his prediction was given, and this person just appeared a couple of centuries back. King Ashoka, who appeared a couple of centuries back, his prediction is given. Jesus Christ, his prediction is given. And there's so many other predictions, which are given at various places. One I've put here. Again, from this Vedic text. In Kali Yuga, wealth alone will be considered the sign of a man's good birth, proper behavior, and fine qualities. And law and justice will be applied only on the basis of one's power. So currently, this Kali Yuga is going on. And this is what is given. 5,000 years back, this is predicted what is going to happen now. And we see, money is everything now. Everything. Money is everything. People do anything and everything to get money. Yes. And whoever has money, even if he doesn't have any qualities, Even if he doesn't have any values, ethical, moral, spiritual, if he has money, he's a big shot. That's how it is. So predictions are given. So first, the axiomatic truth. A lot of predictions are given. I just displayed few because it will take a long time if we go through a lot of predictions. And then last one, which I would like to display before we wind up for today, is this. It's a manual. It's a manual. Yes. Now, why I've displayed this gulab jamun here? Now, say in this session, I start describing the recipe of gulab jamun. I say that it looks like this. It's brown and it's fluffy and it's juicy. And if you remove from the sugar syrup, that's how it looks. If I just throw one in your mouth and you just start tasting it, you will understand what it is, right? Instead of why describing. So similarly, Vedic scriptures are like manual. You just practice and you'll see the change. At least I've observed in myself, I have observed in so many other people out there. When I started observing the changes and transformations in myself and others, then I realized how great this Vedic culture was and how great our Vedic scriptures are. But still, someone might say, "Arey, nahi, whatever you're saying, I don't want to believe." Okay. The last few slides talks about why should I put faith in the Vedic scriptures. See, after all, Britishers did a very nice programming. It's not easy, to come back, to the Vedic culture. But the very simple thing I would like to speak about is faith is an integral part of our life. All the boys who are there, all the men, when we go to saloon, what happens? Especially for shaving the beard. The person has the razor here at the neck. And we're completely, the seat is there and completely we're sitting. The razor is here and we don't know who the person is, the barber. His kula, gotra, we don't know what is the family background, we don't know anything, but still we're sitting peacefully thinking he'll just shave the beard and not slit my throat. So much of faith, isn't it? So much of faith. I'm just now I'm just speaking logic. We don't know the person, but we have so much of faith. Another one. Now, these are something which all of us can connect with. Now, I'm sure all of you might have traveled in plane, train, bus. See, what do? We take a ticket and we sit. We sit in the plane, in the train, in the bus. Now, do we ever go and ask the pilot, Pakka, you'll take me to this destination only, right? Do we? Do we go to the bus driver and we say, you'll take me to this destination only? Train driver, so many times we don't see also. We just go take a ticket and sit. Now tell me, it is possible, no, that there might be a mental derangement, not for the pilot or drivers. Possible. Something happens suddenly, some nerve here and there, and he goes crazy. What if the plane crashes? What if the train meets with an accident, bus meets with an accident? Do we think about all this? We just take a ticket and we sit, full faith in the pilot, full faith in the driver, thinking he will take me to the right destination. Yes. Another few which we can connect with. Look at, we say that we don't have blind following or blind faith, but we have completely blind faith on people around us whom we depend on. Okay, now doctors. Just imagine the person is sitting on the stretcher peacefully on the operation table, and the doctor is having a knife in the hand. The mask is covered, full body is covered, and the person is sleeping peacefully thinking, this person will not kill me, this person will cure me. But there are so many incidences where the seizures are left inside the stomach and they have just sealed the stomach. And then later the person realizes and something is paining. Again, he goes for surgery and seizure is removed, from the stomach. Yes. Now, I'm just giving some examples, but still we have full faith. No, he'll give me the right medicines only. He'll do the right surgery only. One very common example. I'm sure all the students will be able to resonate. The restaurants is the last slide now, which I have got of the content. The restaurant. When we go to restaurants, we see the menu card, and then we see, okay, now get me one, butter roti, and then biryani, and then raita, juice, sweet, whatever, ice cream. Now, see, all of us sitting on the table, around the table, I mean, and then many times, we see we are very hungry. Others have already got all the other tables they're eating. We look at other tables and then, salivating and looking again and again. Why this person is delaying so much? What's wrong with him? And from inside, when the plate comes, the waiter, he comes with the plate, and then our dishes are there on that, and we are so eager. As soon as the plate is kept, immediately we start gulping it. I just have one question. Now see, most of the time kitchen, we don't know what's happening inside. Chef, we don't know about him at all. Nothing we know. We don't know anything about the waiter. We don't know anything about the chef. But still, we have so much of faith that yes, the chef wouldn't have. No, he would not have put any poison in this. Okay, I'm sure there would be no cockroach that might have felt and he might have removed from it. I'm sure no lizard has fallen into my dal that I've ordered. Full faith, full faith. When you go to restaurants, full faith is there. Oh, this person who is there is very good, and he will do the needful. He will give me right food to eat. Come on, this is, what do you call this as, blind faith or not? Complete faith. We don't know these people at all. We keep faith on every Tom, Dick, and Harry of this world, but when it comes to keeping faith on the Vedic text, Vedic culture, no. That is blind following. That is not science. What is science? Tell me. In science, in any scientific experiment, we have got aim, apparatus, then we have procedure, observation, then we have conclusion. So what is the aim? Does Vedic scriptures work? Apparatus, Vedic text. Now procedure, read, try to apply. Observation, see if there is some transformation. See if that richness that we spoke about is manifesting in your life. Conclusion, yes, Vedic text works. If it doesn't work, okay, Vedic text doesn't work. But nowadays what has happened is, somehow, don't know what is wrong, but the aim is, does Vedic text work? And conclusion is, no, it doesn't work. And we call ourselves as scientific. We are not. And many people like this, they have become atheists. Atheist existing in India is a very difficult thing. It's a very difficult thing, but somehow still, people exist. So the point that I'm trying to make is, somehow we've lost the wealth. And a lot of programming is done, brainwashing is done. Now the time is, we have to put some intelligence and try to understand the wealth that we had. And we have to get back. And that is what is the conclusion of my presentation. We have to get back the lost wealth. A very, very important thing. We have to get back the lost wealth. And this is possible. This is possible. Why not? Why not? The only thing that we all can do, which I personally recommend all the people who can, the root of the Vedic text is Bhagavad Gita. That is the life manual, and everyone knows that in India. This can be read. We can master this life manual, which has got solution to all the problems of life. And along with that, meditation. I think last time when I came and gave a session here in CMS, we did a meditation, mantra meditation. Just two things. If every student can do these two things every single day, read 1 or 2 pages of Bhagavad Gita and try to see how you can apply that in your life. And second, meditation just for 5 to 10 minutes. If we can do that, trust me, there'll be so much of transformation in our life. From a superficial life, our life will go deep. From external satisfaction, our satisfaction will go internal. From superficial satisfaction, our satisfaction will become deep and intense. And when satisfaction is internal, deep and intense, no one in this world can shake us. No one. Outside, the corporate world is waiting. The cutthroat competition is waiting for you. But then it hardly matters what outside things are if internally if we are strong. But internally if we are weak, then forget it. Forget it. But then we have the way. The lost wealth has to be revived. Bhagavad Gita, mantra meditation, these are the things which we can do. Simple things I told, which we can do in our day-to-day life. And these two are enough, more than enough, for students, for faculties, for everyone, for working professionals. So I speak on Bhagavad Gita. I'm a student of Gita, and I speak about the success sutras from Bhagavad Gita and how to apply the same in life. I hold retreats on mantra meditation, teach students and corporate professionals how to do meditation, using mantras, especially the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So these are different things. And with time, with so many sessions, with years now, one confidence which I've gained is these two, if someone does understand Bhagavad Gita and do mantra meditation, surely they can grow very nicely in their life. As of now, all of us are just going through our life. But with the Vedic text and Vedic culture, we will grow through our life and finally become successful. Yes. So with this, I would like to pause here, and thank you very much. You all heard, hopefully you all have heard me. Now I would take some questions. If you have some questions, some realization, reflections, please go ahead. And also you can post it in the chat box. I'll wait. And now for the ones who are not posting anything, I would request, let's do meditation for 5 minutes. I would like to teach for the ones who didn't attend my session last time. Maybe you all can do it now. Yes. So can we do it? Do we have 5 minutes? Students, faculties? Chat box is open. Okay. Oh, just 3 of you, 4. What are others doing? Okay. I'm still waiting for few more yeses, and then I'll proceed. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, let's do it. So wherever you are, sit in a meditative posture. If you're sitting on the chair, relax and sit. And if you're sitting on the floor, sit on a meditative posture with cross-legged. Yes. Keep your hands free, or maybe in the meditative posture, dhyana mudra, and close your eyes for some time. Just for 5 minutes. Everyone. Please hear me now. Keep your eyes closed. Don't open. For next 5 minutes, keep all the thoughts away. The wealth that we have in India, or we had in India, was the spiritual heritage. And the core of our spiritual heritage is the mantra meditation. So for next 5 minutes, we're going to do mantra meditation. This meditation technique is very unique, where you don't think anything, but you will chant the mantra and you will hear the mantra. So you chant the mantra and you hear the mantra. So the mantra that we're going to chant is called as the Maha Mantra from Kali Santrana Upanishad, which goes like this: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So there's a 16-word mantra which is called as the Maha Mantra from Kali Santrana Upanishad. So we'll chant this particular mantra for next 5 minutes. I request all the students, all the faculties, all the sincere ones, that let's start chanting. So 3 times you can repeat after me, and then all of us will do it together. Please repeat. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. See, when you're chanting, please focus on the mantra. Again, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So now for next 25 times we're going to chant together. And the only thing that you have to do is chant and hear. If you do this properly, just for 5 minutes, that we'll be doing, you'll feel so much of relaxation and you'll be so light just by doing this. For next 5 minutes, just focus on the mantra. Let us start together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. For the last 3 times, all of us together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One last time, all of us together, with eyes closed, a bit louder, and focus on each and every word of the mantra. For the last time for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Keep your eyes closed. In your mind, without speaking, in your mind, 3 times chant the same mantra that we chanted now. In your mind, silently. Okay, gently open your eyes. Welcome back. Okay, so we are open for questions. Also, I would like to hear your realizations if you have any. So what are you taking from today's session? Etc., etc., etc. Please go ahead fast. We just have another 10 minutes now. If anyone wants to speak, you can raise your hand. I can unmute. My pleasure, Saraswati. It was. Thank you for the compliment. Can we have students asking something or sharing some realization?
Maybe for the first time, we are attending a session for more than 2 hours together. All are exhausted, I think, more than the speaker.
Okay. Okay. By the way, so I'll be conducting some sessions. So all my sessions are free. You can find it on YouTube. You can go to ISKCON Whitefield and you'll find a lot of sessions there. And also you can see the videos which I have recorded on Bhagavad Gita. So 700 videos we have recorded on each shloka of Bhagavad Gita, just 10-15 minutes. So that is also available on ISKCON Whitefield. And I'm planning for students and all the others who attend my sessions like this, the guest lectures, So I'll be conducting once in a month session, or maybe once in 15 days sessions, topics on Bhagavad Gita and others, especially on mantra meditation and Bhagavad Gita. So whoever is interested, I'm posting a link here. So it's a WhatsApp group link, bit.ly/K_das. So you can join this group, and you can access all the sessions, notification there. If you have time, join the session and take the benefit of the same. Because anyways, I'm conducting it for free. You can spread it across also, whoever wants to join. Okay, some questions are here. Let me answer. Should we chant Hare Ram shloka only, or chanting, or any chanting we are interested? Yes, you can chant any mantra. Yes, but this shloka, this particular mantra that is there, it's a special mantra which doesn't have any restriction on time, place, circumstance, and person. See, because the Vedic mantras are very, very powerful, provided we know how to tap the power from there. Yes. So all the Vedic mantras, they have this thing of time. In a proper time, it should be chanted. Place, now the place should be clean and we should be in a proper place. Circumstance, the situation and circumstance should be good. And person, so person should be pure. But now one thing that we see in Kali Yuga, at least at this time, is it's very difficult to follow these 4 constraints: time, place, circumstance, person. So this mantra is given in Kali Santrana Upanishad, which says that this particular mantra you can chant anywhere. Say, you're traveling somewhere. In the bus, you can chant. Just close your eyes and keep chanting. Or you're in the bathroom attending the nature's call. You can sit there also and chant. There's no restriction. While you're working, while cooking, while cleaning, or when you people are doing some diagram or whatever, you can. When monotonously some work is going on, you can keep chanting. If exclusively 5 minutes we can get and sit anywhere, doesn't matter. You can sit on the bed, you can sit on the floor, wherever you want to sit, and you can chant this. So only for this mantra, this concession is given, that chant anywhere and anyhow. We can chant any mantra, provided we have that 4 constraints in place. If not, if we feel it's difficult, then this is that universal mantra which anyone can chant. So it is called as Maha Mantra. Maha and Mantra, great deliverer mantra. Yes. So okay, I have got a message privately. I came to know many new facts which I don't know previously. It tried me to get out of some inferiority about my dharma which I have yet. Oh, okay. My pleasure, to help you. So thank you for texting. Okay, so if okay, thank you, Saraswati, for your reply. So go ahead. If you have something, comments, questions, you can. Okay, I have another private message. You all can send private message. I'll not tell your names. I think students are sometimes worried about what other students will tell. Send me a private message directly. Really experienced a very nice session. Realized the importance of Vedic and Sanskrit. Okay, my pleasure. My pleasure to give this session. Okay, there's another private message. Thank you, sir, for this session. Does ghost exist? If something good exists, there must be bad things too. I do give a session on this, where we go in the depth of it. So I don't know in few lines how to explain. See, all of us, we are spirit soul. We are not this body. Yes. So it's like just think of an example of a rented house. So I'm staying in a rented house. So me and this room are not same. So I am different. This room is different. Yes, we are different. We are not the same. Similarly, I am the spirit soul. I'm staying in the body, in the region of the heart. Yes, and this is the body. Now the important point is that we are spirit soul. I'm sure all of us know about the mind. Everyone is troubled by the mind. So the spirit soul is covered with mind, intelligence, and false ego. Just accept it now. No, I don't have time to prove it and give scientific analysis. And the covering outside is this covering. So we have spirit soul, then we have something called a subtle body, then we have a gross body. Now when the person dies, what happens is the spirit soul with the subtle body, it goes from one body to another at the time of death. But sometimes when people commit suicide and all that, they forcefully try to come out of this body. So spirit soul with the outer cover, this covering called subtle body, the mind, intelligence, false ego, only that part comes and there is no gross body. This body is not available. So that is called as ghost. The spirit soul with the subtle body, which is wandering around without this body, outside body, is called as a ghost. So yes, ghosts do exist. It is scientific. It does exist. But then the way it is shown in movies and all that, it's not like that. Yes, suddenly the head will turn 360 degrees and the hand, no, suddenly the body will turn down 360 degrees. So that's again a species which we can call it as a species also, where they just wander around till they get a gross body. So it's a deep topic, which I don't want to get into now. It will take a long time. I give a 2-hour session on this, just on this topic. But yes, it does. It does. Okay. It's my pleasure to give. Ajay, thank you for your comment. Thank you for commenting on my hairstyle. Okay. How does chanting mantra help us in reducing stress and calming our mind? Oh, that's a very wonderful question, Aarti. See, this when we chant the mantra, what happens is mana. Okay, let me split the word and explain the Sanskrit word mantra. Mantra, man and tra, 2 words. Manastrayate iti mantra. That's what it means. The words and the syllables which have the power to deliver the mind is called as mantra. Now, this mantra meditation is very scientific. Yes. How is it scientific? It's like when we chant this mantra, what happens is we are chanting, we are hearing. So our sense of speech is engaged, our sense of hearing is engaged. Along with that, we count. Our sense of touch is engaged. And sometimes we see the mantra also. So our sense of sight is also engaged. So science says that if 2 or more senses are engaged in an activity, automatically we become focused. This is one. This is on the material side. On the spiritual side, now as all of us know, we are haunted by 6 dirty things in our heart. That is lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, illusion. So many people they come to me and they say this, that I'm a short-tempered person. How to come out of this and all that. This is what people ask this question. I'm a very lusty person. Somehow I want to overcome. So all this dirt is there in everyone. It will be there because we are there in this material world. It will be there, and we are troubled a lot by all this. Sometimes the greed, sometimes anger, sometimes lust. So this dirt which is there, it cannot be cleansed by any material means. No surgery is there where you can cleanse this dirt, but it is there in a subtle form, not in a gross form. So what happens is when we chant this mantra, our mind gets distracted. Our mind gets distracted by these dirty things. So when we chant the mantra, what happens is this covering of all this contamination is removed with time. And since it is removed, our mind becomes more focused with time. A lot of calmness is achieved. Because the mantra has that power. Vedic mantra is very powerful, especially this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, very, very powerful. To cleanse our mind and to give a lot of focus and clarity. I've been doing from last 10 years, every day for 2 hours. It has helped me immensely. I started in my first year of engineering. So I'm not boasting myself, but then the power of mantra meditation. When I started doing, the studies became so easy for me. Then I was participating as a chairman of the student council, and then I was also in the group dance as the choreographer, and also as in the class in semesters I was top in every semester, and everyone asked what is the secret. I myself would never know, because this secret was there in this mantra meditation, because that the focus was so much that in half an hour many things I could do and manage so many other things. Then with time, when I started doing more and more mantra meditation, it was really amazing. Even when I used to go to office, do my work, so finish in few hours and just leave the place. That's a flexible office hours, and because of the focus that we got, it helped a lot. Yes, and also I had a lot of stage fear, a lot of stage fear before, but then the mantra meditation helped me a lot, to gain that inner confidence, a lot of clarity. What next to do? Because see, when we do counseling, when the person comes, there are weird problems that people have, and when they ask, now we have to give solution to that, help them out. So internally, when every day we are doing mantra meditation, every day morning, it helps a lot. Where to have a clarity and to hear the person with focus and to give a solution properly. So at least, it's my personal experience, and many of my students have experienced this. So many professionals, they do it for 2 hours every single day. So yes, it does. It calms the mind. It removes the dirt, contamination. So distraction reduces automatically. The calmness increases. But the other different ways of meditation which are there, where you just close your eyes and sit, in that for some time you get focus. You will get for some time. But then since it doesn't work deep, it is just works on superficial platform, it doesn't go for a long time. But this mantra meditation goes for a long time, where you can remain focused for a good amount of time. And also the determination power increases. This I've seen. Now many of the students who got addicted to this drugs and alcohol and cigarettes and pornography and this and that, they took up to this, and they determined, because they want to give it up. The willingness is there, but they're not able to give it up because they don't have determination. So just by doing this, the inner determination power increased so much that they were able to overcome easily. So it helps. So try and see it to yourself. Then you'll understand how it works. Okay. Time. I don't know. Those who are hungry can leave. Okay. It's very nice. First time I'm getting some comments on my t-shirt and on my hairstyle and all that. Nice. This is the mantra which I said. Yes. Okay, the WhatsApp link, I'm sending it again. The ones who want to join, please join the group. Can we connect with God through mantras? Yeah, why not? He's always there with us. It's only thing is you have to invest some time. Yes. So 12:45. So can we end the session, Dr. Mridula?
Thank you, sir, for your valuable and most informative session. It was an excellent presentation which gave us more insights. Thank you, sir. The feedback is dropped in the chat box. I request you to kindly fill the feedback. Now, I request Dr. Vidya Manan, Assistant Professor, to propose the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all. Really, sir, today's session was an eye-opener. You made us understand how modern science is related to Vedic scriptures. On behalf of Mathematics Department, CMS College of Science and Commerce, I extend my sincere thanks to you, sir. I extend my true thanks to Principal, CMS College of Science and Commerce, for encouraging us to conduct such events. I sincerely thank HOD, Department of Mathematics, Dr. Mridula Ravindran, for her guidance and support. I thank all the participants for attending this webinar. Thank you, sir.